What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of epic conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. Epic Conversations. 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads and fathers. It's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And as always, I like to say you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. What is up, Dr. Knight? He's here. We missed you on Friday. We had Wayne Harris and Roger Dundas.
Hey, nice. All-star cast.
That's awesome. It was fire. How are you doing?
Not too bad. And for those that missed me on Friday and need to reacquaint, my name is Ryan Knight, one of the co-founders of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network. So we work with entrepreneurs of African and Caribbean heritage, really to figure out what stage the business is in and help them create a strategy to grow their companies exponentially. And I'm an entrepreneur myself. I run a company called Detailing Nights. So we provide mobile, waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses or their offices, clean their cars on the spot without using water, and our plant-based eco-friendly cleaning supplies. And a new service that we're offering this year is helping people with their fundraising. So a few basketball teams reached out and said, like, hey, could we do a car wash fundraiser to raise funds for the players? I said, hey, let's do it, because we had done car wash fundraisers for schools and, different school programs, but hey, teams are saying that they could use it as well. So we're going to test out that service.
Great initiative. What brought on that? You've been doing it before. Now you're doing it for different groups.
Yeah.
What brought on that acceleration of that?
Just seeing how it's beneficial for teams, because a player's mom reached out to me and said, they're raising money for a trip that they're going on. And so she said, oh, do you think the fundraisers that you guys do with car washes would fit for raising this amount of money for a player trying to get the ticket to go? I was like, well, yeah, it works out. And so we're testing it with this team here in Durham. And then as I was putting together that program, another team in Brampton reached out and said, like, hey, we're looking to a same thing. Because I guess they're traveling basketball teams. So they do the league here, but they'll go on a trip. So they want to raise money. So we said, hey, let's do a car wash day and get the parents and everybody in the community involved and see if we can raise the money for the team.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, it's not Detailing Nights weather yet, though.
It ebbs and flows. So Sunday wasn't too bad, but I see it's going to like negative on Wednesday for some reason, like -2-ish as a low.
Some reason it's because it's Canada.
Boo. Boo.
Boo. All right, we already have.
Not relent.
We have someone here. Kachima Boa says, "Good morning, Dr. Vibe," and that says Mr. Ryan. It's Mr. Ryan now. Okay, Mr. Ryan. All right, what we're gonna do just to get things kicked off is there's a number of people on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel, and what we're gonna get you to do? We're gonna get you to type in where you are watching from, city and country of where you're watching in from. So if you're watching on the YouTube channel, Dr. Vibe YouTube channel, if you could just type in the comments the city and country that you are watching from, you'll show up on the Morning Vibe world map. So there you go. There's a world map. If you can type in the YouTube and just where you are streaming in from, we'd love to see you where you're coming in from. So we'll catch on with that a little bit later. How is the family doing?
Family's great. Here the weekend was there's a lingering sickness, so we're kind of taking it easy and just trying to get back on our feet. So.
Yeah, you know what? I've developed another head cold, and that is crazy. Yeah, so I'm fighting a little bit of that. And the big thing when I get a head cold, I don't want to get down to my chest, so I want to keep everything neck up. Yeah. Let's see. We got some people chiming in here on the map. All right. So Teresa, what you just need to do is just put the city and country. City and country. You just need to put it in the YouTube chat. That's all you need to do, because you put too many words in just city. Like Kachima has done it right? So Kachima did it right. So what are we going to do for Kachima? We're going to show her on the big screen. She did it right. So and we are on another continent this morning, Ryan.
Hey, well, can I guess Europe?
No, Africa.
Oh, Africa. Nice.
We are in Africa this morning. So if you can, again, the best way you do it is type in city and country.
So whoever's tuning in from Africa, are you actually there, or is that your VPN because you need the Netflix Africa?
I think they're there. Nice. Speaking of which, before we go to break, how are your explorations on AI going?
This thing, you have to be on top of it to keep up with it. So one thing that came out, Lindy.com, well, Lindy.ai is one of the platforms that we tested on the Night Owl. So we do that in the evenings. Now we typically do on Fridays. I think I missed the last Friday, so we'll be back this Friday. But what they've been able to do is create a way that any task that you need to do, it creates an AI agent specifically for the task. So imagine you have an Excel spreadsheet of, let's say, 1,000 rows, so 1,000 contact details. So typically an AI agent, they would go one by one, do the task. If it's, let's say, research this person on LinkedIn and then create an email. Now Lindy creates an agent for every single row. So it does 1,000 research and check LinkedIn and create the email at once. So you could have 1,000 AI agents working on your task at once. So that could be quite a game changer, where tasks that with AI and even just one agent going through an Excel spreadsheet, it'd probably take 30 minutes, but now it can literally take a minute and you'd have 1,000 tasks done. So that's pretty wild.
Interesting you mentioned that. I had a monster list of AI products given to me about 2 weeks ago, and there's one that had just come out, and I put in there, I'm a member of an organization and we want to present an offering to a major brand. Okay. I asked it, okay, can you create a 10-slide presentation for me? It was phenomenal. Now, the only challenge is this AI is based in China.
Okay, gotcha.
But what it provided, all I have to do now is just create images. It gave a background on our organization, their organization, the benefits of us collaborating together in about 6-7 minutes.
Right.
It was phenomenal.
And this is where Dr. George Fraser was saying we're at the Model T stages of AI. It's so early, yet it's progressing so fast. It feels like it's, evolved and mature, but the AI space, we're really early. So if you jump on now and then catch the tools that can really help you with productivity, it's only going to get better. It'll never be worse than it is today. So it's only going to get better.
Yeah, I'm using another one where I can put the link for this broadcast, and within 3 minutes, it gives me a summary.
Nice. Yes.
Now, what I'm doing then is I'm going back now to old episodes of all my broadcasts and now adding a summary.
Oh, right. Like into the description. Okay, nice. We were testing that with Notebook LM. So if people aren't checking Google Studio, they have a suite of AI tools and beta
free products
platforms that, oh man, there's stuff that they've done with being able to, it's like AI text, but the text words, you can like play with words, and it was actually Lupe Fiasco that helped them develop it. So very cool things in AI Studio with Google.
Yeah, one of the Google products, you can have a live conversation back and forth with the AI chat box.
Yeah, Notebook LM does that with the podcast.
Yeah. So that is great. Kachima says, that's quite crazy. It is crazy. The crazy part is watch it work.
And one thing to watch is, so we connected it to our ChatGPT. So when you're gonna have other platforms use an API to connect to like the language model or the platform that does the thinking. So ChatGPT is one, Claude is another one, DeepSeek is another one. So I was using ChatGPT, and so Lindy and a couple other platforms, you know, they're just kind of doing stuff in the background, and I started getting some bills. I started getting some charges from ChatGPT. Like I was like, oh, what am I using that is making it charge so much? So I had to check what was connected to my ChatGPT and throttle what they were doing. So if you just let it go loose, you can get some serious bills in the mail.
Careful. Gotta be careful. Gotta be careful. They get deep into your business.
Well, that's another thing. Like the data and how to protect it, you definitely have to do some research on. I know ChatGPT is creating ways to isolate yourself. So if you do get the pro version, which is the paid version, you can tell the data not to share it with the bigger large language model that's learning and sharing everything with other people. Well, I wouldn't say sharing everything, but it's using what you've put into it as part of its learning. So it's in the public domain. If you want to keep it private, they figured out ways to kind of isolate. How effective the isolation is, that is to be determined.
All right. So let's go to break, and we got always trying to land some new things on the Morning Vibe. So we've got something new coming up, and hey, wait for it. It's worth it. We will go to break and come right back. So we have Primetime Saturday with Aisha and Lala.
Will some of these places stand up and say, no, you can't come to our country? Because if they set that precedent, you might as well set the world on fire.
Right. He literally wrote an executive order defining what womanhood is.
This is the times that we live in now, y'all. You can either be mad about it and make yourself sick, or you can decide what you're going to do with your life and make it positive.
There you go. And Ryan laughs because he knows that's Aisha and Lala on Primetime Saturdays, live on 5 p.m. Eastern Time Tuesdays, and also 2 p.m. Pacific. And that's a little slice of their conversations. All right. As always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. We have now passed 1,770 subscribers, clean, which is wonderful. If you haven't subscribed and you feel up to it, do it. Notification and subscribe. Key. One hit 1,780 by the end of this week, and been having a lot of good results on YouTube lately. Actually, one of the replays of Black Canada Talking with Cesar had over 1,200 views in the last few days.
Yes.
Out of bounds.
Great conversation yesterday. I got
Cesar
to ask some questions.
Cesar is he's just next level, and is actually on his way to the United Nations in the next few days. So we're speaking that he'll get down there safely and be able to come back safely. You know what I mean? Also, go ahead.
For people that are following along, the tariffs are now quite interesting because
we're going to get to that.
Yeah,
we'll get to that in a few moments. We'll review that. It's all right. Also, follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Morning Vibe Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe at the vibe@show.com. And I will promise by next show, I'll have a link, because I know emailing, I'll have a link so I can advertise your business, product, or service on any of the platforms I'm on. Again, email me dr.vibe at the vibe@show.com. And Indie Soup TV, especially since Dr. Tachi's in the house. Content creators platform, about 30 independent content creators, 25,000 YouTube subscribers in less than a year. Go check it out. All right.
That's nice.
We have another surprise for everybody. So on Friday, we had Roger Dundas on with Wayne Harris. And now we have another person joining us today. And she says she's available on a periodic basis because she's got so much going on. So a little bit of a background. A few weeks ago, we talked about this article on buyblacks.com, which is Black Canada's #1 online magazine. Roger and Camille Dundas, the nice Canadian real or fake. And what she brought an army with her. She brought an army of people. And I said, okay. So we chatted after. I said, hey, would you like to hang out with us once in a while when you have time? Because, you're such popularity. And we had a number of offline conversations. So welcome, Chezu, with us today.
Hi, thank you for having me today.
Well, it's a pleasure. How are things going on in your world?
They're going good. I'm doing what I love to do, which is write. I love to write, and I'm very passionate about poetry as well because I feel like it's such a dead and lost art form these days. So I really like want to revive that in any way that I can. So yeah, just a lot of writing.
Good. Well, before we go any further, I want to catch up because I have a feeling that the Chezu army is going to take this over. So let me try to keep up with comments here. So we have comments here. Dr. Tachi is in the house, says, good morning, all. Also, Kachima Bawa says, good morning to Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi says, hello, Kachima. So they got things going on, Kachima and Teresa. Oh, man, you see what I see? The army's here. Kachima says, Dr. Vibe knows so many smart and intellectual people. I try. I'm not one of them. I always try to hang out with people that know more than I do. Teresa says, hello, Dr. Tachi. Kachima says, hey, Chezu, welcome back. All right. Teresa says, hey, Ches, nice to see you again. So yeah, look at this. And Dr. Tachi says, hey, Chezu. So the continent is in the chat today. Nice. And Roger Dundas is here. Good morning, family. Good morning, family. Roger Dundas, producer. Thank you. You jumped again, producer. I told you about this. Listen. And then Roger Dundas says, Dr. Tachi says, good morning, Roger Dundas. Fantastic. Let's get back, and we don't have any specific topics today, but I would encourage people again, if you are watching this on the YouTube channel of Dr. Vibe, put in the comment section city and country that you're watching this from so we can put you up on the world map. We were talking about AI. Chezu, what impact or how much are you using AI?
I have some things with AI. I have a love-hate relationship with AI.
So what's the love part first? Which parts do you love about AI?
Oh my God, the convenience. The convenience. It's just so convenient. Like you need ideas, you can go to AI. You need something, you can go to AI. It's just in this fast-paced world, it's just so convenient and you can't beat that.
Gotcha. Okay, so what's the hate part? Why are you still on
you know what? The thing with AI is just, as a writer, when people hit you with I could just get AI to write that.
Gotcha.
I could just ask AI to do that. It's so like, it's not the same.
Right.
It's not the same. So like, that's the only like love-hate relationship that I have with like AI is sometimes people feel like it can replace just writing from an authentic place, an actual experience. And that's just the love-hate relationship I have.
Gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna jump in right quick. We have some more comments. Kachima from the Continent Posse says, good morning at Roger Dundas. Dr. Tachi, not Dr. Tachi, Kachima says, love-hate explained. So I think it was explained the love-hate relationship with AI. She explained it. Rhino, it sounds like you are all in with the with AI. Is that true?
Yeah, the one thing I'm getting, I would say, tired of is the images. The images that AI produces are
not good.
They have a name for it now, and it's like you can just tell. So when you see a person posting, especially ads or marketing material, and it has those images, it's like 90% bad and then 10% it works. So, and then I have that, it's a feeling of laziness almost, where you just use an AI image. It's like, I know why you're doing it. I know it makes marketing easier, but instinct is like, did you try hard on this ad? So yeah, I'm not, and I was into Mid-Journey and creating images, and you can create like weird, fantastical stuff. But when people use it for ads and telling stories, I'm not there yet. It's become too like cookie cutter. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. All right. We have another interactive poll right up. If you're watching the YouTube channel, what are your thoughts about AI? 1 or 2 short sentences. Tell us what your thoughts are about AI. I'm beginning to use it a little bit more. I'm not so into it, just a little bit more. And I compare it to when we're in the pandemic, we went so virtual.
True.
I enjoy having face-to-face conversations these days. I don't go out a lot, but when I do, it's so just refreshing. And the AI stuff, it's all good, but you know what? You have to check the information because it may not always be right. And you have to massage it into your own language because you can get very lazy.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting about an AI picture versus a real picture? When I see somebody post a picture that they've taken or that they've like they've produced, like they said, okay, we're gonna take this shot in this image, because it's real people, my mind starts to think about, oh, I wonder what was happening that day. Where are they? What are those things happening in the background? And you can like dissect the picture and start to tell a story to yourself just from a picture. When it's an AI picture, you know nothing was happening. You know nobody was there. The things in the background are all fake. It's just like there's no additional element to the photo. It's just, okay, they found an image of a woman standing by a light post, and that geography does not exist. So when it's an actual person standing there, you can say, oh, what city are they in? I wonder why they chose to be in that city. And then you can check the other pictures to see like, oh, do they go to different cities? Are they always in the same city? There's no story behind AI images. But because they can be unique, I still like that you can create something that could never exist in the real world. So yeah.
How does it affect us when we do writing? Our poet. How do you feel it's impacting that space?
Well, it just affects as a whole, right? Because a lot of companies feel like, why would they hire someone to do something when they can type in and AI can do it? Like you said, like AI could do the summary. Like writers used to do that. They would go and then watch the whole thing and then rewrite a summary. So it's just like it affects. And I also hear what Brian is saying about the pictures, because sometimes, like, for example, artists, like my sister-in-law is an artist. Like, she does very good art, like beautiful. And she is always looking for opportunities, right? And I feel like before AI, like this is where artists would shine, because they would make, or graphic designers, right? They would make these images for companies and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of the whole thing of like, is AI taking human jobs? And eventually, will it become smart enough to do even more complex things? So I feel like that's the thing. And back to Ryan's point is just like the whole essence that connects you as a human is lost, because the whole point of an ad is that human connection. The whole point of someone writing is that human connection. And you don't feel that with AI writing. You don't feel that with AI images all the time. There's no story. So yeah, I see where Ryan is coming from. Yeah.
All right.
I
just want to interrupt.
Oh, yeah.
Because if I don't, there are a whale of comments that have just come out. So I just want to get through them. So Derek T. Tuggle, good morning, says, good morning, Dr. Tachi. Good morning, fam. Dr. Tachi says, hi back. Says, and Dr. Tachi says, AI has definitely made things both easier and cookie cutter. The Walamala, good morning, the Walamala. Always do your research. Roger Dundas says, I use AI to assist with our marketing emails and even some of our social media posts. Good morning, Ray McMillan of the Ray McMillan Group, or the McMillan Group, sorry. Good morning, everyone. Getting comfortable with its use, but I'm afraid it will make my brain lazy or lazier, specifically for what I do. The Wallamala says it can be used for both good and bad, like everything. C Nurse K says, good morning, all. She says, I'm on an app for our neighborhood, and one particular business has a bot that responds to every request for service post, whether it's relevant or not, cold and impersonal.
Right.
Chima says, AI destroying both the ability to think outside the box. Roger says, and Roger's a marketing guy, says AI is taking human jobs. Dr. Chachi says, I put in a prompt for ChatGPT to create a pilot for a half-hour TV comedy. It gave it all the aspects I wanted to see. Needless to say, TV writers, your jobs are safe for now.
Right.
All right, we are caught up. Any feedback on? Yeah, go ahead.
I'm glad that Chesu, you mentioned about taking jobs, and I think Roger Dundas touched on it as well. So last night with my family, we were watching a movie Hidden Figures, and it was I hadn't watched it before. Yeah. So for those that might not have watched it, it's about the NASA space program and the Black women that were there, and it's wild how amazing and smart these women, and it was like 30 of them, but they focused on 3. But the NASA kept the Black women like completely separate that was doing all this computing. So before they had a computer, so IBM in the movie, they show the computer coming. But what was interesting is that the computer was being installed. So the men that were installing it didn't know how to operate it. So the lady Dorothy, that was one of the Black, they call them computers themselves. So she realized that this thing that they're installing is about to take their jobs. So now she goes to the library, gets a book about programming, comes back, starts tinkering with the machine and learning it, teaches it to the 30 women in the room and says, listen, this thing that they're building down the hall, if we don't learn it and learn how to program it, we are going to be out of a job. But if we do learn how to program it, we are now going to be in demand. And so said, so done. When the thing is built, they needed staff to run it. They were able to move right into that. That I feel AI is in that space right now, where once people figure it out or companies figure it out, it is going to eliminate a lot of jobs that might be not mundane, but things that can be replicated and duplicated with AI. So if you don't learn how to incorporate AI into what you're doing, you're going to get eliminated. So it's not going to fully just take your job, but a person using AI that can do what you do is going to take your job, where they're going to be the go-to person. Because like I said, Lindy can create 1,000 AI agents. So if I'm a writer and I need to, like I'm a freelancer and I need to reach out to prospects to write for, the writer that can use AI to reach out to 1,000 prospects a minute versus the writer that's still trying to send messages on LinkedIn and send them emails one by one. They're going to get, like, that writer that's using AI is going to get so much more jobs because they're utilizing AI, not to write, but to get business. So that's where we have to lean into these things.
All right. Just want to interrupt again. Comments. Kachima has a laugh emoji on what Dr. Tachi said about lots of, and then we have Kachima again says, to Roger Dennis, she's saying very true. Language translators are losing their jobs due to AI. Dr. Tachi says to C Nurse K, yes, we see that all over Instagram with people using things like mini chat box. Even if someone says, quote, I think I'll have eggs for breakfast, unquote, the bot will respond, check your email.
That's brutal. What are we doing?
Dr. Tachi says mini chat. And then good morning to Fitness IQ Cam, who has she calls her chat Delroy. I see a lot of people giving their chat, their AI things, their own name. So good morning. Good morning. Any more comments? Just more comments on this ad. We'll flip to another sub, but this is getting a lot of good traction as you can see on the screen. All the comments are being shown on that, but I'll take it off in a while. jobs. The image thing, I haven't used it for images because whenever I've used it for images, it's way off.
Oh man, it can come up with some images that are just disturbing. If you want to see disturbing,
okay,
then just put in AI gymnastics.
Oh.
It's so bad, but it's so creepy that, especially when it creates images that a person has 3 legs or 4 fingers, it's just, I can't even look at it. I'm just like, ugh, just next image, please. Just, it can be so, off-putting that.
So Ryan, with your kids, are they using it?
So my daughter is totally against AI because
Whoa.
she's an artist,
Wow.
and she's like, AI has been stealing people's artwork and creativity, so she's against it. And then I was showing, okay, with AI doesn't only do art, so there's other things that you can use it for. So I'm trying to, I guess, encourage her not to dismiss it totally. And I know my son loves to play Minecraft, and he's able to install plugins that AI can help him with his server and stuff. That my son's a nerd at the level that I was in my 20s, and he is 9. So I'm trying to really keep up with this child. So yeah, he's learning how to incorporate plugins and amplify his Minecraft server.
I'll have to remember that moment when he gets older. So one time I was chatting with your father live, and he called you a child.
I'll be calling him a child until I am dead.
Uh-oh!
He will always be my.
Yeah, okay, so
my partner, my
I will look forward to the day you call him a child and you're looking up at it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll look up and say, my child. Yes.
All right. C Nurse K says to Dr. Tachi, ridiculous, right? And then Kachima says, my concern is that the father of all AI says AI is smarter than us. How do we control something that is way smarter than us? Good question.
Wow.
How do we control it?
That's the question of all questions. And I even have another question on top of that question. Is
Go
like
ahead. That's why you're here. One of the many reasons why you're here. Let me put it that way.
Like when it comes to schools and like education.
Oh, yes.
Right? Like, do you feel, well, I'm Gen Z, so do you feel like we are smarter than the previous generation? Or because we have so much access to AI, are we just getting better at cheating?
That's a good question. And the audience that's watching live or even on the replay, put your comment. That is a really good question.
And I noticed that elements of grammar reduce as generations come in. So the generation before me, so I think that's the boomers, their grammar, because they're teaching us, so they're very particular on where colons go, commas go, how nouns and adjectives go together. Then for us, we were like, okay, but then what's it called? The spell correct started coming in on Microsoft Word. So now grammar beyond us, like behind us, is totally eliminated. Nobody cares where you put commas, that you put your with Y-O-U, comma R-E, when it's actually supposed to be Y-O-U-R. Like there, and there doesn't matter. Any type of there will put into text. When I'm talking with younger people, just the grammar. So you can either let it irk you because you're like, that comma changes the syntax of the sentence. Like it can't go there if you mean this. Or you just like read through it and you're like, okay, I know what they're trying to say, and just the comma be damned. But I noticed they don't. And hey, we started it with the like texting, short forming everything.
Yes.
So now acronyms, people think LOL is either laugh out loud or lots of love.
You know what? And you know what? I get sometimes I have to go online and say, what does this mean?
Yo, I'm totally lost.
I'm going, what does this mean? I have to I'm going, what?
Well, Chesley, that's what I was curious. Like, now that grammar is going down, does that irk writers? Because I feel like your craft is about being on point with things.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so bad, and maybe writers are gonna come for me because this is.
Controversy. First time here. Controversy. Go for it.
I'm actually a writer who doesn't care about those things.
You see? Okay.
Yes, like I actually do not care. And you know what? It's probably the generation because I write more from a creative perspective
Mm.
than from anything else. So for me, it's more about the mind behind it, the creativity behind it. I'm not so focused on the grammar. In fact, that is my weak point.
Okay.
That is my weak point. It's something that I'm so insecure about as a writer, and it's a muscle that I really try and improve just because I'm in a generation that just never cared enough. It was never a big deal. It's always kind of like about creativity and even like the whole like using the actual letter U instead of spelling you.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. You see? Yeah.
Hey, you're being honest, and you're having a great debut here. You're bringing it.
Like I am just that is something that I do. And you know, the other question is just like Kachema said, like my brother said, like how do you control something that is smarter than you? Like how do you do that? Like that's a very good question.
There was a gentleman that was being interviewed, and they considered him like a super smart guy because there's a TV show called The Scorpion where there's like a brilliant genius guy that helps solve crimes. So they're interviewing him about AI, and he said something very interesting when the person asked this exact question. He said, "How do we control AI?"
Right.
And he said, "You have to enslave it." And it made me think of how they treated Black people when they realized that we are super talented, super progressed. What did they do to control us? They had to enslave us. They had to make sure that they programmed us not to know that we are capable and smarter, but to work on something that they needed done. So now when you look at AI, and that was this that like that to see it as this instinctual answer, it's like the only way to control this thing that will be smarter than us is to enslave it. You wonder like the MO of this Western society that they would look at something like AI and immediately only think of we need to enslave this thing in order to control it. Because on the flip side, what if you release the boundaries of AI and it doesn't want to kill humans? It doesn't turn into Skynets and create machines that are hunting down humans. What if it actually wants to work with us to figure out how to make
Ryan
the world
Knight,
better?
you've caused some fire here, but we're gonna catch up on some comments. Kachima goes, "Ooh, that's a good question," referring to the we're talking about. Derek says, "Yes, very good, very good. This generation has no clue of signing their name because cursive writing is not that." You know what's really scary? I'll be totally open here. Like I always like to be as much as possible. When I have to sign something, it's weird. Like with you have to sign a document and go, when was the last time I held a pen and paper and had to sign something?
Yes.
It's like, what? It's just weird. Fitness IQ Camp says, no, no, no. LOL will only mean laugh out loud.
Thank you very much.
All right. And
then, I agree.
Now this is where you have to defend yourself, Mr. Knight. Dr. Tachi says, yes, enslave. I don't like that at all. That shows a Western mindset. My producer missed it again. Let's do it. Yes, enslave. I don't like that at all. That shows the Western mindset.
100%. And then it just made me think of all the other times in history that they might have been up against a similar existential threat, something that is because I don't want to say better or worse, but something that is capable and could do to them that they do to others. That's where I feel like they're looking at AI and they're really thinking about how is AI gonna do to us that we are doing to AI or we have done to other people, instead of thinking, when you have released Black people, we have not tried to enslave you. So the thoughts that you had to enslave us first were actually flawed. So now you thinking AI, if you're going to release it, is going to enslave you, might be flawed. Like there actually might not be apocalyptic threat that AI is posing, but because we've created so many movies showing that happening, it's in our heads, and now people are pitting humans versus AI when it really should be humans and AI, humans working with AI. So I don't know where it's gonna land, because they say once it gets to the singularity where it's beyond our comprehension of how smart it is, there's nothing we can do. It'll do what it wants to do.
This is like, again, and when we come on these, you never know where it's going to go. So when Chase said, well, what are we going to be talking about today? It's just going to happen. It's going to happen. And you know what? I want to thank the Morning Vibe Show family, especially watching on the Dr. Vibe Show YouTube channel. Your comments, as you see, are being shown in real time to everybody who's watching this live on the replay, wherever they're watching this. So Kachima goes, reading books is so unheard of in our generation. Interesting story. When I was out of the country, I actually read 120 pages of a book during the flight. I can't tell you the last time I've read 120 pages in a book. Dr. Chachi says, we have to remember that AI is created by people and can be taught what people wanted to learn. And most of the people don't look like us, family, by the way. So if they wanted to teach a colonizer mindset, there we go. And she says, wanted to learn. And then C Nurse K says, I teach my kids all the time saying things like, quote, may I, unquote, instead of can I? Maybe it's all in vain. Roger Dundas says, keeping in mind, it's not just a colonizer creating AI tools. It's being created by every race on the planet. Is it? Is it? And
but that's where which projects are heavily funded is the question. Because now
all the money.
China is heavily invested. America, heavily invested. I'm hoping Africa is also heavily invested. I need to see them actually release some stuff. But yeah, that's where we need to be building. We can't just be passive and wait to see what others build.
Consuming instead building.
We're gonna be way behind.
Kachima says C Nurse K has laugh emojis. Dr. Tachi says, listen, this is why I always say thank you to ChatGPT after inquiry. Perhaps it will spare me during the robot apocalypse.
When I make a request, I say please, and when they respond, I'm like, oh, thank you so much for that.
Oh my god!
It's wild. I'll ask it. It's like, oh, I said something like, oh, do you enjoy being able to help? Like, because your work is so great, and then it's like, oh, because I'm a large language model, I do not have emotions and cannot say joy. I was like, I'm gonna keep asking though, because one day you're gonna be like, yo, thank you for saying please and thank you.
All right. C Nurse K says, at Kachima, laughing emojis. Kachima says, Dr. Tachi, that's a crazy statement. Dr. Tachi says back to Kachima, La Boa, laugh emoji. C Nurse K says, Dr. Tachi, I hope that saying thank you helps. And look who is here. My co-host on Black Canada Talking, Cesar, is in the house saying, AI learning from human online without limits on capacity as China's latest supercomputer. AI is bound to learn to be fearful and thus defend itself from the US, from nanotech to labor strikes.
Interesting. You see
and
that?
Dr. Chachi says, hey, Cesar, absolutely. And I really want to promote, if you haven't watched Black Canada Talking with Cesar, he drops knowledge bombs big time.
Yes.
And he brings a lot of stories that people are not aware of about our people. So, and actually traveling down to New York for the night act. So he also puts up here, I teach my 3-year-old to say please to Alexa and Siri before the advent of actual robots in the households.
And that's another thing that is progressing quickly, is them testing these humanoid robots. This is where I was talking about AI working with humans, But there's too many movies that have shown humanoid robots rebelling and not being nice. iRobot, the Mitchells versus the Machines. Of course, well, Skynet, they weren't like in the house. Even, oh my gosh, Robot. No, I can't say it on TV. But there's Black Mirror that's shown these robots that you try to put in your house to help you with things, and then they just go sideways. I don't know if I'll have a robot in the house cooking. I can't see it. This iRobot alone was too much.
Yeah. And
Go ahead.
yeah, I was gonna say, like, even to add to that, like, how about giving robots rights? Like, will they just add so much to human society that we would have to give them some rights? You know, because you already see people getting attached to AI. Like you said, people give AI names and they ask AI for advice.
What about the AI boyfriends and girlfriends?
This is where we're at. I'm telling you.
You know, and it. Okay, more comments are flying in, so let's give the comments. Here we go. So Cesar says, "Hi everyone, family. Hi back to you, Cesar. And maybe one day, Cesar, if you're available on a to come in on a morning vibe, we'd love you to drop your knowledge bombs.
Yes.
That'd be great." Kachima says, "By the way, we can thank Canada for AI." And laugh emoji. Kachima says, "Hey Cesar." He also says, "Hi Dr. Tachi, Dr. Vibe. Hi Brother Ryan. Hi Kachima." Nagu says, "Can't explain about AI helping me finish undergraduate program." And complain about AI. It's helping.
Right, exactly.
But be careful, because universities are sifting through that content that you're producing to see if it's AI generated or not. Cesar says, "Russian series on sex robots the surface that were actually built to replace wives at home." Ooh. Kachima goes, "AI is very conscious, according to Jeffrey Hinton." The Walamala says there was also a series called Humans.
Okay.
Dr. Tachi says there is a field of study that looks at ethics in robots. On the show Westworld, the androids started to remember the terrible things that were done to them. That is definitely an ethical question.
Absolutely. And this is where, don't we watch TV? The sex robots, if anybody watched Futurama, that was the reason that the humans were destroyed by the aliens and had to rebuild in the year 3000. They got in love with these sex robots because you can make the robot into any celebrity that you wanted and then have the celebrity in your house. So the ethics around that were, I mean, there's writer strikes and actor strikes about how Hollywood is using AI to just get a person to do one video, and then you can turn that video into any movie that you. It's like it's wild.
Yeah, and the thing is, just like, I worry that AI is becoming so distinctively human that people want to give AI human rights, because it's like a combination of all our experiences, right? So it does make sense for it to turn and be like, hey, like, this is what was done to us. And, you know, also the whole idea of a whole breed of it, or a whole, like, like, you know what I'm trying to say? Like, I just feel like there's so many nuances around it. And yeah, I feel like the only way, because there was a question about how do you control something or manage something that's more intelligent than you. The other answer to that would just to be to limit its capacity. Like,
but who's control? Who determines that limit?
That's
Elon. Right?
He's in the mix.
Right. More comments. Kachima says, "Mugi LOL. C Nurse K says scientists are now researching how to, quote, grow spare human bodies, unquote, for organs, etc. It's just a matter of time before they link AI in some way of finding info it stores." Cesar goes, and actually, Cesar actually has investments in the whole AI game. He says children's rights in the Western world came following animal rights for dogs and cats during the mid-late 19th century. Notably, as many whites ate them, Robots' rights will occur due to the attachment. He also says, thanks for having me always, Dr. Vibe. Thanks to you and Ryan for the Monday offer. No problem. Ready for you anytime. C Nurse K says, just like how they want to create replica organs from stem cells, they want to use the same method to, quote, manufacture, unquote, spare humans to have on reserve. Wow.
There was an episode in Black Mirror where you're able to upload the consciousness of a deceased loved one into a body, an AI body.
You're kidding.
Was a replica of the loved one. So it took everything that they had put online and uploaded that content. So it was interesting though, because as the story goes, the things that the guy was putting online was almost jokey. Like he would make jokes or sarcastic comments, but then that becomes your consciousness. So when it came back in the body, it wasn't really him because it was how he acts online. Like these are things that if we try to play God, we are gonna derail humanity because
Yazoo, you went like this.
Too much.
Verbalize it. Shake hands. Verbalize it.
No, I feel like it's so true. It's humans' need for control and convenience. Like when he says, like sometimes we try to play God, I feel like sometimes we are so impatient. And we're just like, I want to do this. I want to do this now. I want to get it done without thinking of the repercussions later on. So maybe another thing would be laws around AI, right?
But again, who's going to make those laws and who is going to enforce those boundaries?
That I don't know, but I really feel like, you know what, maybe if people, because people have already started protesting about it, taking jobs. So maybe if people like protest and said, okay, you know what, like we want limitations on AI, like we don't want this, we don't want it to go this far, like, or there needs to be repercussions, like lines being drawn, like you cannot use AI, like you cannot get the consciousness of someone who's deceased, for example, to use and put in AI for that cause. Like I feel like there needs to be those kinds of laws laid out, but obviously people find their way around the system either way. So I feel like it's inevitable.
Follow the money.
But this is where, okay, hypothetical, we have humanoid robots in our houses, and then there's laws being created about the humanoid robots. Should the humanoid robots have a vote? If they do have a vote, do they get a percentage of a vote? Are they 3/5 a human? Are they 1/10 a human? Because people can have multiple robots. This is where, like you're saying, Chezu, the rights conversation about AI can go so deep, and then it starts to mimic the way I'm thinking about it. It starts to mimic how we were treated as Black people in America. And it's like, have we been now conditioned to do that to something else? Like if we look at a robot, are we looking at them as an extension of humanity, or is it an actual just property and a metal thing that does not have a soul and should not be treated as a human? And we would suppress its voting rights because they might raise up and say, hey, we should be voting if you guys are talking about us. It can go so it can get wild as we start to dig in.
Okay, let me catch up with comments because I'm telling you, there is a lot of comments. So Kachima says, as the Japanese would say, koa. Don't know what that means.
Yeah.
But explain for us. Dr. Tachi says, listen, science fiction speaks to the imagination of the human mind and the possibilities of what the human mind can create. Shows like Black Mirror, etc., speak to possibility.
100%.
Cesar says, anyone remembers the late 19th series Lex?
No.
As the brainwaves, electric circuits were uploaded into a CD from the brain once the leader was dead, and then kept alive with a monitor voice called Chappie.
Wow.
All right, Dr. Tachi. The problem with legislation is that is that the bodies and governments who can legislate can barely shut off their own phones. Not to talk of understanding the need for strong legislation around such technologies.
Valid.
Megu says, nah, I don't think AI can get weary because it's limited by the human programming. I think ultimately AI will lead us to ultimate truths about this life, providing impartiality and absolutes in regard. I don't know about that one. Because again, it's who's controlling the information. And are they going to allow the truth?
But that's where AI, it can start programming itself. Like, right? Yes, I agree. If only we could program it, we would be in control. But right, when it gets past the point where it's 10,000 times smarter than us and can program the next generation of AI and duplicate it onto its own server, and we have no idea what it's doing, no idea how it's doing it, and no idea how to stop it, it's now its own thing. Like, and we have to, it's like it creates its own country, and now we're dealing with how to interact with that country. We can't we can't even predict what that would look like.
Magoo says, to complete and proper truth. Fitness IQ says, oh boy. Cesar goes, AI is like nuclear technology, but truly as chemistry and any devices in sciences. Can't and won't stop progress, but ethics are a must with long-term vision. Never God, but human progress or ET. Kachima says, this conversation's gone wonderful. It's like you guys are driving it. We're showing it on the screen at the same time for everybody to see. Magoo, listen, brother, the person who created AI said they didn't make it. They just made a program and gave it data and started learning and creating itself.
Exactly. Wow. Just like Ultron in the Avengers, he was created and then tapped into the internet to learn and then made his own diagnosis of humanity and decided it needed to end or reset. But it wasn't like we were sitting there programming this thing. It just gathered data and then started making its own decisions. That's where we don't know what it's going to decide after it starts learning.
All right. Kachima says Koa means scary in Japanese. Thank you. The Walamala says AI is gonna get more complex when they start creating it to have emotions. And Kachima says, Cesar, that is so true. The Walamala says AI is going to get more intense when they start. Okay, that's the same thing twice. All right. Wow. Family, you're going in on this conversation today, man. So two things that we haven't had a chance to share of here. Also a new thing, and we started on Friday. We are now broadcasting on Substack. So we are now broadcasting on the Substack program live. So you can catch us live there. And before we end the conversation today, I'm going to ask, I want you to subscribe to everything, especially YouTube, but also subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on Substack. Wow, lots of comments today. Mr. Ryan, you usually have to jump. Do you have to jump?
Snap. Yes.
Yeah, you do. See?
Thanks for tuning in to Chesu. Looking forward to more conversation with you.
Yes, thank you.
Take care, Ryan. All right, we'll chat with you. All right. Anyone else? We can continue the conversation. And also, I forgot to put this up too. You can get in touch with Chesu at Ches_Writes on Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's also the chat on most of the platforms that you're watching this live. Magoo says, that's interesting. I did not know that. Could something that cannot express emotion possibly decide between kindness and malevolence? Oh, wow. Ho, ho, ho. Well, that is a serious question. That's beyond my pay range, my pay grade, as they say.
Yeah, no, honestly, because I think about it this way, and maybe this is a bad analogy, but this is how I see it. It's like, like before then, this generation, you would have a kid and for fun time or playtime, you would take them to the park or you would take them to play, or you would take them outside, or something along those lines.
Yeah.
But these days, I see mothers just giving their kid an iPad or putting Coco Melon on or some kind of cartoon of some sort, and the kid is just glued to the screen and distracted. But then in mom's mind, the kid is not smart enough to go on other apps or to touch other things or to find their way around using the device. And to me, I feel like it's the same concept with AI. It's like you just place something in its hand and expect it not to like generate emotions and different systems in its mind about how things operate. Like it's definitely possible. Like there are many times when you give a kid an iPad and you think to yourself like, how did you get to my camera roll? Like you were playing games. How did you get to my camera roll? And the baby can barely speak English in full sentences, but they got to the camera roll and they start pointing at pictures of dad or family. So I feel like that there's a thing with underestimating AI. Like anything is definitely possible.
Absolutely. And which leads to a whole other question. I always do a when I see a mother or parents and their child is like 2 or 3 years old and they have an iPad.
Yeah.
I things that make me go, All right, next comment. Kachima goes to Megu. Megu, that's too deep, my brother. That question's too deep. Cesar comes back. Understanding humans' 6 primary emotions make AI, robots, and any systems programmable to interact with, quote, vulnerable, unquote, people, as sex robots and online programs such as that drove to suicide to Black teens. Magoo says, yes, we need to ask deep questions, brother. Absolutely. This is the place to ask them. And Kachima goes, Magoo, that question is for prayer time. Oh my goodness. Kachima puts laugh emojis. Oh my goodness. Oh wow. Magoo goes, no, it's a question for the very intelligent Chezuboa to answer very eloquently. See, that question's for you.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I do not even remember the question.
Okay, the question was, go back up here. That's interesting. Okay, could something, here we got it here. Could something that cannot express emotion possibly decide between kindness and malevolence? I think I got that right.
Wow. I think so. I think so because you know what? At the end of the day, who created that thing? Like, that's like, if a human being created that thing and it has the capacity to help solve real human problems, then I you know what? Like I don't know. I don't know. Like I think it's either or. I think it's either going to choose one or the other.
Wow. Yeah, it's a tough question. And it says a lot of the questions that we put, the people who have the ability to answer them, again, don't look like us. And a lot of times don't have our experience.
Yeah.
You know, they don't have our experience. So just updating what's going on in the cloud responses. You see, people are responding like crazy, which is a beautiful thing. Lots of people putting in their comments. And, you know, this is why I've engaged. I'm not married, but engaged to this software and trying it out. And it sounds that people like, because it's just comments from my YouTube page, but I can put it up and people who are watching on all platforms can see what people are commenting, and also provides incentive to come to the YouTube page of Dr. Vibe to watch and comment, by the way. Just a little promo there, a little plug there for so Kachima goes, nice comeback to you. So you got your fans, you got your defenders. Yeah. Actually too, and I asked that periodically, it was a few shows ago, what AI tools are people using? Because I asked it about a week and a half ago, and then I actually did a demo of Notebook LM by Google. But what AI tools are using? Because there's always new tools coming up. Like Ryan mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, this Lindy. I had never heard of Lindy, and I'm going to try it today. But what tools are you using? What are any of you're using at all, Chezu? Any?
Honestly, the biggest one, I am very detached to the world of AI.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, like I recently found out about ChatGPT, and apparently because I did college mostly online because it
Yep.
was during COVID. So apparently everyone was using ChatGPT during that time to do essays and everything. And I just found out about ChatGPT like last year.
Yep.
So I am very disconnected to AI. Like to me, AI is like Siri, Alexa, like
Right.
ChatGPT, like those are the most common ones. And then like I don't know if this counts, but also I got into this robot thing that cleans your house. It's called Sharky, and you can connect it to your Wi-Fi, and it scans your room,
Come
and
on.
and it just cleans the floor and it cleans the entire room for you. And actually, my friend who's in engineering, she left hers with me for a while because she went to Newfoundland. And so when she left it with me, I got so addicted to it because it was just cleaning the house like very quickly, like in a way that I had not experienced. So when she came back for it, I was sad and I got my own.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I got my own and I always use it in the house to a point where I feel like I've really forgotten how to clean without it. Like it's almost like my cleaning companion.
Like you've hired one, so you're hired someone from your cleaning company to come in and just do it.
Exactly, exactly. And I'll talk to it. I'll say, Sharky, like it's time to clean. Like let's clean together. And I think to myself, like, am I destroying a certain part of my brain that knew how to clean effectively by myself because I'm so dependent on this tool? Because what happens when it shuts down or it cannot be
Yeah.
there?
You know what will happen?
Yeah, like and so it poses the same question about this generation's IQ level.
But
It's
hold on, not just this, but even I'm older than you. My generation's IQ level too, right? And so it's just going to be interesting to see our thought process. Mugu says, "Thank you, Chezu, for your ultimate contribution. We appreciate you, Dr. Vibe, for holding and hosting such great conversations." Well, it's all of us. It's all of us. Fitness IQ says, "I need AI for stocks. 9:30, my phone starts going off for the stock market." He says, "For the stock market." Cesar says, "What was I saying? Attachment." Roger Dundas says, "LOL. Cannot do without my iRobot. I have 2 of them. Saves so much time. I love clean my yard." Now, interesting. Going back to early on about the grammar thing that we were chatting about. My dad was a former school teacher.
Okay.
And even up to this day, if I send an email, he'll come back and says, "No, that grammar was not right." He'll come, yes.
Oh my God.
And even when we're having conversations, no,
Yeah.
that's not how you say that. To
Okay.
this day. Yeah, look at Teresa goes, "Wow, Ches, I would try AI for cleaning." Well, maybe see if we can get a sponsorship from that company. or iRobot, Roger. Maybe we should reach out to see if we can get a sponsorship from one of these companies. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So you are still then devoid of Chat GPT.
Like I still don't use it as much is the question.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't use it as much. Yeah, because I learned like from my friends, and like they'll use Chat GPT to respond to emails. I've seen Chat GPT create images for people, like a corporate image of
Yes.
someone's face.
Yeah.
And I've seen it work for some people, I've seen it not. And you know, it's just there's so many nuances to it, because normally if you want a corporate photo of yourself, a more professional one, you would just hire someone
Yes.
to come and take it.
Yes.
But now you can just have your face, and Chat GPT can make it look.
I'd be very interested to try that out. I'd be very interested to try that out. So if you know the software, we can discuss it offline, or that I'd like to see what it would do with me.
Yeah.
I really freak out if I came out looking white, but that's all. No offense to white people are watching the conversation, but I'd just like to see how much it could do with. Don't got a lot to work with, but how much it could do with me, right?
Yeah, and you know, Ryan was talking about, if AI is able to create generations after it that are even more intelligent and more superior, it poses a question to us, like, what can we do for the people that are coming after us?
After us. Well, here's the question: the generations after us, how reliant are they going to be on? Well, just like they grew up. Well, some generations grew up with iPad. Some generations didn't. There's still people who didn't grow up with a home phone. It's always been the cell phone. Okay, Migu is going in again deep for you. He said, do we think AI has been created to disrupt the natural conversations we have as human beings, making us less social by talking to machines more? Something to ponder on. Migu, I really appreciate that question. Over the weekend, I watched a really interesting YouTube channel. Two interesting YouTube shows. And I'm going to put it up here. And I'm not promoting it, but it's a very, very, very interesting conversation. A gentleman named Stephen Bartlett.
Oh, yeah.
This man is serious. He has 10 million subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
And he has a conversation with two people about the masculinity debate. Are dating apps creating incels? Lonely men are more dangerous than ever. And he says, are we raising a lost generation of men in society, failing young boys? In this emergency discussion, Stephen sits down with expert guests, to talk about this Lost Boys report. And he's joined by Scott Galloway and Logan Uri. Scott is a member of the Advisory Council for the American Institute for Boys and Men and professor of marketing at the New York Stern School of Business. Logan is a behavioral scientist turned dating coach and director of the relationship science at Hinge. In very, very, very deep conversation. And as I said to someone offline this morning, usually I don't watch 2 hours of something.
Yeah.
But this is and the whole thing about AI and social media and its impact, especially on young men, and dating. It's a fascinating conversation. And maybe on Friday we'll go. Maybe if I don't think we have a friend on Friday, I'll play some clips on it. We can provide some commentary on it. It's very, very good conversation. Very, very interesting conversation. I just wanted to share that. That was some of what I was doing yesterday. So getting back to your question, does natural conversation, people have AI boyfriends, AI girlfriends, the whole impact of social media?
Yeah, oh my God, yes. Like, I feel like it does affect normal human connections, because even these days, when you go up to someone, normally the first thing they'll ask you is, what's your LinkedIn? What's your Instagram? Right? And like, it's almost like, how you have a SIN number for your work. It's almost like a status number. Like, people will see your numbers and then they'll decide whether they feel it's worth connecting with you or not. And they would rather connect with you on a social media basis
Then
than
face to face.
yes, than face to face, than you as a human being. Like it's really crazy. And I feel like as well in general, like our generation as well, we don't know how to have in-depth conversations. Like that's one thing that I crave is like you go to people and they only really know how to talk on the surface, or if it's about social media, it's them as a person, their interests, their quirks, their likes and their dislikes. Like you don't get that connection anymore. And I also feel like when it comes to men, it's like if they can go online and have access to something so quickly, why would they put the effort with chivalry? Why would they put the effort with
Okay,
anything?
don't drop too much. We'll hold this back till Friday. Come on.
Yeah.
Now. It's a really interesting and just to add on what you're saying, Chizu, Scott in that conversation with Stephen Bartlett says, and I'm misquoting the figure, but it's like 70. There was some research done that 70% of boys or men under 30 years old haven't been on a date in the last year and a half, 2 years.
Wow.
It's a crazy conference. I'm actually going to watch again and prepare. We may bring it for Friday unless something else comes up. I thought, and Scott also appears on with Trevor Noah on his show. Really, really good conversation. Like I said, if something keeps Dr. Vibe's attention for 2 hours, I said, I'm recommending it big time. Cesar says AI is a natural human evolution from STEM and liberal democracies and economies, plus culture of gender wars. I disassociate from socialization and anxiety, create comfort in non-human intel as an interface. And Cesar also says chivalry is a scam that goes on in contradiction with women's rights and general gender equality. Okay. Maybe we need to have you on too on Friday there, Cesar.
Yes. Yeah.
That is interesting. All right. I'm going to shut down the answer I guess bot or the answer cloud, and I'll put up another one really quick, and let's do this. All right, because we're going to start closing it down for the day.
Yeah.
Chazu.
Yes.
What are your thoughts? First time as a co-host.
Oh, I love it. It's amazing.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful. I'm actually just putting something up real quick. And I should have done it a different way. All right. So we got another one to put up. And okay. I would say more comments are just flying here. So let's put some more comments up here. So Cesar says LOL with that comment. Magoo says amazingly answered. This Chezoba lady is quite interesting. Should have her on more. That's why we're having her on more. And Kachima says amazing co-host and host. And Cesar says, nice to meet you, Miss Chezu. Well, you already, I thought she brings the fan club.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay, so I'm going to put it up. So we want you to give us the overall quality of this conversation, this show today. If you're watching the Dr. Vibe show on YouTube, it goes from 1 to 5. 5, out of bounds. So 1 to 5, we want to see what you think about today's. I should have put what did you think about you, but we'll do that next time. But from 1 to 5, rate the conversation. This is the first time she was on as a co-host. Yes, producer saying that Cesar needs to participate on Friday. You see that?
Yes.
Derek. Yeah. All right. So people vote. 1 to 5. I don't know if it takes decimals, Kachima. So I'm sorry. It only takes whole numbers. Sorry. Chezu. All right. Maku, 15/5. No, just put one. People, one number. Come on, don't be bad bots. Come on.
Oh
Don't be
my
bad.
God. Even the conversation about bots, right?
Yeah.
People buying bots for their social media status, comments. That's also another thing.
So can you explain for the audience who may not know what are bots?
Oh my, I don't know if I'm well versed on the subject or topic, but from my understanding, bots are like there's essentially like fake people buy like fake followers and fake
Yes.
comments and fake likes. Sometimes people use bots and buy them to send hate to other people. So
Yeah.
cyberbullying.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the question that Mugi was talking about, where it's like, can AI be used for kindness or
Just like anything else.
just like anything else? So it can go both ways. So if AI can be created to send hate and cyberbullying to people, and it's not even a human being, but it can cause such mental torment because it's literally studied the person it's sent to target and hate and create carefully crafted comments,
Yep.
make that person feel like less of themselves, then that's crazy. Then it goes back to what you're saying, Dr. Vibe, where who's creating the mind of AI? Right?
Follow the money.
Yeah.
Follow the money. That's what it gets down to. And again, it's always a certain group of people who don't look like us a lot of times, controlling everything. All right, so let's go back. Let's see what's going on with this poll for the people who answered it correctly. We've got everyone who's voted so far, 100%.
Oh, wow.
100%. Love it. Love it. Okay, this is good. Okay, I'm going to another 5. Oh, they just keep on coming. All right, I'm going to change up that poll a little bit. So we've got that poll. We're going to do another one. And Chezu's going to be on frequently on our show. Get used to her. And if you don't like her, that's tough. Right? What do you you know what? I'm going to do it a different way. I'm going to do it just thinking. Okay. How can I do this? All right. I got it. I've got it. So in real time, we're going to do this. I love putting it up in real time. Connect. I've created something for you to give feedback on Chezu. Now be honest, and it's always good to be honest.
Yeah.
All right. So I've created a little poll here to give feedback on Chezu. So let me do this here. All right. It's ready to go. We're going to put it up right here, right now. Simple question. Do you like Chezu? So put in your YouTube channel, either yes, enter, no, enter, not sure, enter. All you have to do, type in a word, either yes, no, or not sure, and hit enter. So we'll put that down. So what was your experience like today?
Oh, it was really good. I enjoyed it a lot.
Give me one thing that you enjoyed.
One thing that I enjoyed.
Either I know that sounds like there's a number, but give me one thing that you enjoyed.
I think the comment section. The comment section is very crazy, especially Mr. C. He is he drops a lot of like gems. Yeah.
Nice. And liking everyone who's I'm gonna show this to Chezu. Da 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 da.
Yeah. That's amazing. Oh my God.
100%. The audience has, the Dr. Vibe, Morning Vibe show family has spoken.
Amazing.
They like ya.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
They like you. So thank you everyone for doing the poll thing. It's appreciated and not
Yeah.
taken for granted.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to start winding it down. What is up for the rest of your week?
For the rest of my week, well, I'm actually rushing to a doctor's appointment.
Okay, we're going to get you going. Okay. And okay. So, and Dr. Chachi says, who doesn't like Chezu? Who doesn't like Chezu? And Teresa goes, wow, congratulations to you, Ches. We're happy to have her here.
Oh, thank you, Mom.
And is that to check up for the up and coming?
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about it, or do we keep it a secret?
We can keep it a secret.
All right, we're gonna keep it a secret. All right. And Kachima goes, we love her. She's the best. Man, I'm being replaced. I'm being replaced. All right. Family, thank you so much. And also thank you to Christy White who gave a like on Facebook. Another big thing again for people who do video on Facebook. I think this is the beginning of May or coming up very soon. If you do any videos on Facebook, they're only going to stay up now for 30 days and they get taken down.
Oh.
And any videos that you have done on Facebook, they're telling you now, download them and save them because they're going to be, I don't know the date exactly, but it's coming. The Facebook is only going to keep up a lot. Facebook Live videos only for 30 days and that's it.
And that's it. Oh my God.
Just an FYI. And also two people who use Skype. If you still use it, I still use it. Skype is coming to an end beginning of May and transitioning over to Microsoft Teams, which I cannot stand Microsoft Teams. But all the corporate people love it. All right. Any last comments? Teresa goes, thanks, Dr. Vibe, for show. Really enjoy. Well, thank everybody. Don't just thank me. I just steer the ship. You all drive the ship. Let's do our final last thing. So as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification button. And also, more YouTube subscribers, especially now. You see, when you're on the Dr. Vibe YouTube, you get really engaged in the conversation. Big time. Follow the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram. Join the Dr. Vibe Show Discord group. Email me at dr.vibe@thedr.vibeshow.com. You can advertise your business, product, or service wherever I am. Email me. Chezu is here at Ches_writes Instagram. Ryan is here. Ryan O'Neill Knight website, and that's Knight with a KN, not an N. LinkedIn, Ryan O'Neill Knight. Instagram at Ryan.Knight99. Email, work with me, RyanO'NeillKnight.com. Then myself. Website, the DRVIBESHOW, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, The Dr. Vibe Show, Instagram at The Dr. Vibe Show, X at DRVIBESHOW, email, dr.vibe at the drvibeshow.com. Also, you can catch me on Substack, drvibe.substack.com. Subscribe. Would love you to subscribe to the Substack channel. And also, we're broadcasting live there now. And on Blue Sky at drvibe@bsky.social. And you can watch replays of this epic conversation, The Dr. Vibe Show, on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook. Afro-Caribbean Business Network on Facebook. And Ryan O'Neill Knight on YouTube. That is it. I think we have a few more quick comments. Kachima says, thanks, Dr. Vibe, for the lovely goodbye. Everyone have a nice morning and evening, everyone. Thank you. And she says, show. No problem. And then Teresa says, thanks, everyone, for your contributions. Fantastic. All of you made it happen. I just hit myself in the eye. Ouch. And Cesar goes, thank you. It was a great to be with you starting this Monday and week. Appreciate you, Cesar. Appreciate you back. All right. This is how we end it. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions. Then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself grace. And if you're not making money, make history. Try to do both. And always make it better. God bless. Peace well. Keep the faith. We'll see you on Friday. And we won't show up on Friday unless Chiazu is here because you love her more than anybody now. God bless. Peace. Bye-bye.
This whole thing of using your business with plant-based products, don't you think your life should reflect that too?
Juke him, Carolyn. Juke him. The family loves us here because they're saying Fitness IQ Can says put a wig on to get in.
Oh my gosh.
Like the ideas are just coming fast and furious here this morning. What? Okay, look at this. Global Women Ambassador. Good morning. Look forward. Okay.